All right, guys, what's up? Bonafide Hustler here.
Raking profit.
Starbucks, college picker.
And Craig Morris, Morris Better.
More's better. I love that name. Hey, what's going on, guys? This is Green Room Hangout number 12. I'm the Bonafide Hustler, and I reside in Austin, Texas. I flip stuff I find from garage sales, estate sales, yard sales, flea markets, swap meets, pawn shops. And I put it on places like eBay, Amazon, Antique Booth, and consignment stores in town. That's what I do. I'm one of the admins of the Green Room, which is a Facebook page. I'll toss it over to Rake and Profit.
What's up, everybody? Thanks for coming out to another Green Room show. Hopefully you guys are on fire, kind of like the graphic. But I'm from Connecticut. I sell mostly my e-commerce on Amazon FBA and Craigslist. I buy most of my items from thrift stores, garage sales, and pawn shops. And I'm pumped up for the show because Q4 is huge, and I know I've got a lot to learn, and I'm excited to just hear what everybody's got to say. So with that being said, let me pass it off to Mr. Starbucks.
Happy late by 8 days Q4, everybody. And I am the college picker. I reside in the outside patio at Starbucks with a amazing internet connection brought to you by Google and Starbucks. I like to flip things on Amazon, a little bit on Etsy, eBay, Craigslist. I also travel throughout the United States as a healthcare professional working to help underserved populations. I'm going to send it over to More is Better.
Hi, I am Craig, and I specialize in doing a fair amount of retail and online arbitrage, and mainly selling on FBA. Do a little other stuff on the side as well, but just kind of amping up and ramping up for fourth quarter and toy sales and everything else that goes along with it.
Okay, so first of all, Craig, and we're going to do make sure we are our check, mic 1, mic 2, all that kind of stuff. Make sure our sound is good. So I think I heard you guys perfectly fine. I want to toss it over to the feed. And if you're watching this live right now, guys, you can check out to the right side of the actual Hangout. There is a chat feed that's going, and it's live right now. So if you got questions or comments or just want to engage with other fellow Green Room members, or if you're from YouTube land, go ahead and put a comment. Tell me if we sound good. We got to make sure. We don't want to go through an entire show sounding like crap. So, anyway, okay. First of all, Craig Morris, how do people connect better with you? And if people don't even know anything about you, trust me, you're going to want to connect with this guy, especially during fourth quarter of FBA. He might give you a little tidbit of some information, some cheats, and things to do. But how can people contact you behind the scenes after this is done? And can they find you on Facebook? Where can they find you?
Yeah, well, I'm a member of the Green Room, so if you're not a member of the Green Room, then definitely join up because there'll be lots of great fourth quarter discussions. But I also have my own Facebook page, facebook.com/Morris Better Reseller. And,
okay, so M-O-R-R-I-S Better, right?
Yes, reseller.
Reseller. Got it. Okay, cool. So in the feeds, it sounds like we sound good. We got Stacy Staggs, Hearts Picker. Hey, what's up? Hearts Motor Company. Bullfrog of the Biz, Pinching Pesos, Thrifty Treasures, Javier Camberos, Eli Caraballo, Dwayne Hale, Mothership Products, Texas Gal Treasures. I said that already. Cody Orgel from Australia. We got a faraway hustler tuning in. Man, it must be like freaking 5 in the morning over there, but whatever. That was some just crazy pull. Like I don't know if it's.
It's
really
a sunrise behind me too.
Okay, so I don't know what's going on. Anyway, Mike Decker, ComfortZoneStudio.com, KDC, Mike Decker, just a bunch of people. So clearly everyone knows how to use the chat feed, so that's good. And Hearts is saying hello, Steve. So all right, cool.
What's up,
so we're going to be talking about quarter 4 this year. It's really important. So let's do a fair disclosure kind of thing here. I've participated in last year's FBA fourth quarter craziness. I decided to get into it and try it out, and I learned a lot of things from it. So we'll be discussing that here later on the show. But my full disclosure is I've participated in one fourth quarter. Morris Better, how many have you participated in? 2 or 3, or which one?
No, last year was also my first one on FBA, but
Wow.
I've kind of continued with kind of transition more away from the thrift stores and kind of continued doing retail and online arbitrage throughout the rest of the year. So
Okay.
only one fourth quarter, but kind of doing the fourth quarter thing year round now.
Wow, I thought you were a third one in, but that's cool. 2 in, that's great. Wait, last year was your first one, so you're 1 in, right?
Yep.
Okay, cool. College Picker, are you 1 in or 2?
Last year I did it as bigger than I ever have before, and then the year before that I probably did it maybe 20% of what I did this year. So I'd say 1.2.
Yeah, your last year was like crazy. I know that. I remember those. And then Raken, have you done? Did you do one last year, or this is your
I mean,
first
I've been
one?
doing FBA for a few years, but no, I've never done like a Q4. Like I feel like the fair answer to say is 0 because I've never done it like hard. Like I've been selling, but this is going to be probably my first real like hard push at Q4. So I'm excited about that.
Yeah, the main thing on this Q4 that you guys want to be focusing on, first of all, when we talk about Q4, I think most people, if you see a show about this after this and it's like coming from FBA people, typically when they refer to Q4, it's a lot of times referring to the new and in-demand stuff. Would it be safe to say that, Craig Morris? Yes or no? Like new and usually very in-demand kind of things, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think a rising tide, raises all ships or whatever. So everything gets a bounce with quarter, but you're primarily looking for the need to have products that people kind of wait all year and hold off on their purchases, and so when the demand is higher than the supply, that's your goal, is to get as much of that supply and turn it into cash.
Okay. Now, last Q4 when I got started, I remember I started on, I want to say the 29th, maybe the 27th of November. It was around one of those days, right? And I decided, like, you know what, I'm going to take a huge push at this. So several grand later, I was trying to think. It was like 14 or 15 days of straight big box store rushing. And I'm talking like nonstop. Like I was, like even with times with my girlfriend, I'd be like, oh, cool, let's go make sure we have dinner on that side of town so I can go check out all those stores after we're done eating dinner, because I was so, into it. And I was going at 2 in the morning at sometimes. I was going crazy. So, Craig, is that typically like the kind of thing you want to be doing this year? Are you going to be still kind of doing that strategy? And you're full-time, right?
Yeah, we're full-time, and we're not quite to doing the rushing around 7 days a week, but I would say we're doing 4 to 5 days a week right now, where we're going out there and doing either the stay up super late till 3 or 4 a.m. or I haven't gotten around to getting up super early yet. I've been doing more of the super late runs and trying to catch Walmart like when they're restocking for the things that I'm looking for.
Okay, cool. Did you kind of learn, like, I know Walmart's, I figured out Target's schedule in this town, most of it. I could never figure out Walmart's. I couldn't figure out, there was another one. What's the other one?
Because Walmart's like whenever the employees kind of feel like it.
Yeah. That must be it. I did figure out their tool, though. Their little tool was pretty cool. That little scan tool.
They have their
thing.
scanner iPhone thing, yeah.
Yeah, I did figure out that a little bit. But I figured out Target's. I didn't get to figure out Tulsa's. But you guys out there in YouTube land, if you're hearing us talk about these stores, they're like, you might be like, oh, crap, that's like stuff. That's like stores with new stuff. That's like the stores that have the pamphlets and everyone's Black Friday, this or that. Those are the stores you're going to be you're going to be wanting to go to, right? So let's start off real quick, Eric. What are some of the big stores? If you had to name 5 stores to primarily focus on for Q4, what would those 5 stores be? You think?
Toys R Us, Walmart, Target, Best Buy, and
GameStop.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could say GameStop.
Yeah. Okay, so they're your 5 right there. Those are, I mean, you're going to learn a lot through this 1 hour. We can't tell you.
Kmart. I would throw Kmart in there, too.
Kmart's not all around the country, but I know what you're talking about, because Kmart is one of those places that
hit or
if you
miss.
have it, it's great. If you don't, then, yeah, you're screwed. But okay, so let's talk about Morris Better. Your 5, what would you say?
I would say we spend Walmart and Target would be our top 2 by far. Toys R Us would be probably a solid 3rd, and then I just like to change it up. So it's kind of whatever's on the route that I haven't been to for a while. So one that I haven't heard mentioned yet that I like is Barnes & Noble. And so sometimes you can find just some different things there that you maybe can't find in other places.
Okay, cool. I went to Barnes & Noble after the fact this year. I went in like Q1 of this year, and I saw a lot of cool things. It was just hard to I saw a lot of great opportunities with Barnes & Noble, like in Q1. I didn't do Q4 Barnes & Noble, but I remember seeing these Erector sets, which had great profit potentials, but their rank was so high and astronomical that I was like, I ain't touching that, because I'd be, putting $60 at risk to get about 40 or 50 with this super tall rank, and I was like, it just doesn't make any sense for me. But talk to us a little bit about Barnes & Noble, because I think that's the first time I've truly heard about that one besides last year in the green room. I think Katie Kachi told us some Barnes & Noble tricks. So Barnes & Noble Q4 last year, Craig Morris, what were the kind of things that you were seeing, or the games mostly, right? Board games and stuff?
In toys and games, what you want to find retailers that have stuff that only they carry, because then essentially the only place people can buy it is either in the store or they're going to go to Amazon or eBay for it. And so Barnes & Noble has lines of product that is exclusive to Barnes & Noble. So anytime you find any store that has exclusives, it's something you want to go regularly in. So that's one of the main things when you're walking into a Barnes & Noble. You're looking for anything that has a sticker on it that says Barnes & Noble exclusive, because not everyone has access to a Barnes & Noble, and so that gives you that opportunity to potentially flip something there.
Okay, cool, man. Reagan, you're kind of
Yes,
soaking
sir.
this all. You're kind of soaking
Yeah,
this
man.
all in. What's going
Yeah,
on?
no, I agree with everything. The exclusive lines, I know when I kind of messed around with the retail arbitrage, I did well at Toys R Us because there was a lot of items that were just exclusive to Toys R Us. One more store I'd like to throw in. I'm not sure if you guys have it in your area, but the store is called Big Lots.
Okay.
Have you
Your
guys been to
internet
Big Lots before? I did really well there.
Okay, so Big
Sorry-
Lots, yeah, that's
sorry
like
for your-
right down the
yeah,
street
Big
from
Lots.
my house. Cool. So Big Lots is. Let's talk to Craig and let's talk to Eric about this. Big Lots during Q4 as a viable place for new stuff and in-demand stuff. What do you think, Morris? What do you think, Eric?
Go.
Okay, I would say it's viable, but it's also hit or miss, because unlike other stores, you don't find the same layout in every Big Lots. Some Big Lots will carry certain things, because my understanding is they're more of a liquidation type of thing. So what's nice about a Target or a Walmart is you go into any Target or Walmart, if you're looking for a particular thing, you can know right where to find it. In Big Lots, you can find great stores, but we have 2 in town, and a lot of times you'll find stuff at one that the other doesn't even have shelf space for. So I think it's viable as long as you're flexible, and it's certainly great to change things up, because you get sick of walking in and out of Walmarts all fourth quarter.
Right.
Yeah, Big Lots buys from other stores in the area, so it's going to be very variation depending on where you're at because of what stores are around there. Some Big Lots actually have carried brand new Guitar Hero for PlayStation 3, Xbox 360.
Wow.
No, when they were blowing them out at $19.99, $14.99, like $29.99, things like that, where if you could find these because they bought them out when the market was so high and nobody was buying it, and then they have the inventory for so long that you can find some of these hidden gems in there, but it's not that common.
Okay. Trinston13 just rolled in with a comment right now off the feed. Says, how about Home Depot? I found a lot of great stuff there last year. Someone in the green room messes with Home Depot regularly. But no, it's not you, Craig. Anyway, I've tried to hustle Home Depot, but it's usually something I do it's in the middle of the year. And it's like iffy if I find anything worth anything there for me to do it. Craig, have you messed with Home Depot?
A little bit. I'm just such a sucker for toys, though. Like, toys are fun. And so I kind of never really get too far out. It's one of the things I want to expand this year is sourcing some things other than toys for fourth quarter, because I think it's a good safety net, because, toys, how much people spend will depend on how much expendable cash. But other things maybe are a little bit safer that people are going to buy certain appliances and things. During most of the year, like, I'll go in once a month or whatever, but I've had minimal success, and that's been with clearance stuff, but that's not my expertise either, so I'm sure someone who knows what they're doing could do well there.
Okay.
Now,
there's
don't know what it would be.
there are a bunch of questions that are rolling in, and one of them was, let's talk about bankroll. So if you're a beginner, let's say you've never done one of these Q4s before, and you're going to approach FBA, because as I understand, if you just create an account, if you have there's like 2 accounts. One is like a professional account, it's like $40 a month. The other one's kind of a pay-as-you-go, but it's like $1 listing, right? Am I right about that? Something like that?
It's a basic account and a professional account.
Right.
The basic one, they charge you $1 every time you sell something.
Right.
Or 99 cents or whatever every time.
Right.
No
And the other
matter
one's
what
$40
item.
unlimited, right? $40 unlimited, something like that. Am I
$40
right?
bucks, $40, and it takes away the $1 for everything you sell. Yeah.
Yeah. So those are the two things you're going to have to be looking into. But there are no rules and regulations to quarter 4. I don't think with toys and games, except with exceptions of, every year might be something different. Like last year was Frozen and some random things, and like this year I think it's going to be Star Wars. Not restrictions, but those kind of things where you have to be gated and like you have to find your ways into there. Craig, anticipated very big selling toys this year like Star Wars. If you're a brand new person, can you get around that and get ungated, or no? It's pretty much impossible.
Yeah, I think if it's something that Amazon's putting a restriction on, they've got limitations that, of sales that you have to even meet to be even thought about to apply for it. So I don't think that's going to happen. However, like with Star Wars this year, old Star Wars stuff is still fair game. They're only gating the new stuff. So there's not necessarily a way around the block, but there's always creative ways to profit off of whatever people are interested in.
Right. And last year, the big thing that was like all the rage, but it was weird because it came out of nowhere too, was the Frozen thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but it was because there was some counterfeit Frozen stuff coming into the market. Yes or no?
Yeah, there was counterfeits coming in, a lot from overseas and different things, and so then they just put the, for a while as everyone sells, and then it was actually well before fourth quarter last year. I think it was like March or April. They kiboshed everything, and then they re-let people in.
Okay.
After that,
So yeah, that's one of those things. I always tell people kind of be kind of cautious when you're messing with one. Like last year, I remember there were a fair amount of like NFC kind of gaming kind of things. That's what we'll just leave it at that. There were a fair amount of gaming things that didn't have any restrictions. There was TMNT with no restrictions. There was Frozen with restrictions, I want to say. I can't think of any other ones like Fisher-Price. None of those had restrictions on it, right?
No, you'll just hit a brand every once in a while, and it's
right.
usually not even the whole brand. It might be a product here or there. Sometimes an Air Hogs or something you get a restriction on a super high-end thing.
Yeah. Just be real careful what you guys are messing with. I mean, I don't ever want people to get too crazy into it, but at the same time, it is a gigantic opportunity. With the very short amount of time I invested with it last year, I saw a huge return in a very short amount of time too, which was crazy. So I spent a total of like I want to say 15 or 16 total days, like from like start to finish, and like sourcing, and then I sent it all in. Every day I was sending something in. Okay, every day I was sending in like 20 or 30 quantity, sometimes 40 quantity of something, and then the craziest part was within 2 to 4 days it was all gone. Like that's how fast it left my account. So I didn't source enough is what it came down to. I probably could have spent a little bit more time sourcing, which I don't know how I could have done that, but I probably could have. I could have taken every hour of my day and sourced and found more things. But being my first fourth quarter run at FBA, I was kind of like, shoot, I got thousands of dollars wrapped up in this inventory, and it was like in this 2 to 4 day window. I want to say it was between maybe the 16th to like the 20th of December. It like all just left my account. I was like, what? That's unbelievable. So this year I've done some research, and I think it was through maybe Camel, or whatever website shows like the stock. It's almost like a stock ticker up. You know what I'm talking about? It has like a graph and everything. I noticed a couple things. Me being an ex-stock trading kind of guy, I look for trends and spikes. And when I was looking at some of these toys, whether it was like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles or apparatus-type video game things where I'll leave it at that, NFC video game kind of stuff, or random other things, I was finding a spike right around November 28th as well. Now, I don't know if that's a Black Friday thing or if it's a large amount of marketing done by all these toy companies at one specific time of the year, but there was a big push right around I want to say it was right around the 20th to 28th of November. There was a big spike in these prices of a lot of these toys. Craig Morris, can you elaborate a little bit on that? Was I seeing it wrong?
No, it seems to me like my experience last year was a lot of different toys kind of spike at different times, and so to just assume that every single toy is going to reach its peak value on the same day can kind of be foolish, because some toys might not have even peaked while others are starting to go down just because of when things are released. When, for example, the Star Wars movie isn't even coming out till December, I believe. And so there's a ton of interest in Star Wars now, but there's probably going to be another spike for Star Wars once the movie comes out and everyone wants to get the gear. And so, but I think you're probably seeing a Black Friday spike for for that on the early end. Like our biggest sales days were around like the December 12th, 13th, 14th. Other people, they talk about their biggest sale day being Black Friday. And like our last, what I would call our last big sales day, I think was December 20th last year. Like that was the last day that we were well above like our normal volume. So different things can spike at different times, and so you just kind of need to follow whatever it is you're interested in.
That's right. Thrifty Treasures right now just echoed in the chat, like knowing the rank is really, really useful in general. So rank is let's talk about rank this year, because if you're hustling the right stuff, the rank is going to be low inevitably. Correct, Craig?
Yes.
Okay, and then CP. Last year when you were hustling a lot of this Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle stuff, and we were passing along a lot of like tips in the green room, back and forth about Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle stuff, and I felt like the entire room was collectively making a pretty decent amount of profit on this one thing. But do you remember some of the ranks on some of these Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle stuff, CP, like maybe the Foam Dojo Sword, or the let's say the Party Wagon, or any of those things, or like the 5 or 6 character exclusive pack that was in Targets? Like, do you remember some of these ranks? They were crazy low, right? Like,
I mean,
below 1,000, right?
They go low when Amazon has it in stock, and then it kind of climbs a little bit. As soon as Amazon sells out, it'll climb up a little bit, but it'll still have such a good rank that the third-party sellers will get those higher-priced sales. But at some points, there were items that were definitely under 100, within the top 100, I'm sure. But some of the exclusive things, like the Target 4-pack, that one was not. That one wasn't a super low rank, but it would still sell immediately as when you send it in.
Yeah, I remember those things.
Most of them were instant sales. There's so many toys. There's so many toys that you can get an instant sale with so many different varieties of products, regardless of if it's a 75,000 rank, 25,000 rank, or a 13 rank. You can get the instant sale if it's priced correctly.
Right. You know, my tactic last year, because I didn't know any better, honestly, was match lowest price. So
oh my god!
Well, I don't know. Hold on. It was match lowest price for 80% of what I messed with, except for like Dark Edition Skylander stuff and those 5 exclusive Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle packs and the Party Wagon thing. There were 2 different Party Wagons. Anyway, so for those things, CP and I had consulted behind the scenes, and he was like, "Look, man, don't be doing like match lowest for any of that crap, because those are so hard to find that literally like the people get bought out right under you, and you can dictate any price." And sure enough, I got like top dollar for some of the craziest things. So let's talk about match lowest price, because some people could argue that it's an actually great thing to churn and burn and get fast-moving money and get a fast maybe 20 to 30% return. Craig, what do you think about match lowest price versus the hold strategy?
I kind of look at it, I mean, I'm on the newer plan, so I've got the 2-week cycle for payouts. So when I'm coming close to when my next payout is, I'll take a little bit less because I need that money for payout so I can buy more stuff. So usually, like, if I just got paid, so like my payout for this week was Tuesday, was my payout. So after payout, I kind of jack all my prices back up because I don't need to sell anything. There's no difference in selling something today or selling it in a week and a half. But if it's coming close and I know my numbers, I know how much I need to pay off, or I know how much cash I want to have on hand to source, then I might, right before, a couple days, you have to give time for Amazon to ship it out or whatever, but, then I might come down and undercut by a penny or something like that just to get the sale, free the cash up, because I'd rather have $10 profit today rather than $12 profit in 2 weeks.
Right, that's a good point. Raken, you strike me as the kind of guy who's going to be destroying this fourth quarter, because I know how you are. Like, when you see something that even remotely has profit attached to it, you start raking in the profit. You start going after it like all day. Excuse my terrible joke, but I had to do it. But Raken's the kind of guy, and he's even openly admitted it on Hangouts, that when you find something that's making you a good amount of money, you pretty much drop everything and you freaking go ahead and kill the entire, like, opportunity, should we say, right, as a whole. In your respect, like, you kill it for yourself, to where you feel good about it and you've poured a bunch of money down there and you're going to get it all back.
Sure, that's fair to say.
Yeah, what do you think this fourth quarter is going to be like for you? Are you starting to get all hyped up about it? Are you starting to see like where you're going to be making your first plays and this
Yeah.
race to the bottom thing versus this is a lot different than used electronics, for example, right? Let's be fair. What kind of strategy do you think you could be messing with, or what do you think?
Well, hopefully you can hear me all right because I know my internet's shaky. Is it coming through all right?
Yeah, you're good. You're good.
Cool, awesome. Yeah. My plan right now is to continue doing a lot of the pawn shops and electronics and stuff like that. But with Q4 nearing, and it's already here, I'm starting to do a lot more of the retail stores as well because I don't want to just like block myself into one specific item. Because with electronics, you get a lot more returns. It's just a fact.
I got 2 returns today.
Yeah, it's a riskier category. The profits are super high, but the risks are definitely there. So I've been doing a lot of Target. I've been getting really good at Target and Walmart, and I'm just trying to diversify as well. But I'm excited because I've never had this much inventory in my Amazon for Q4, and I think Eric could kind of concur with this as well, that the electronics will even sell, because I think you were saying the electronics will even sell really well during Q4. Is that right?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, everyone wants a present for somebody, regardless
Exactly.
if it's electronic or if it's
Exactly.
like amazing 4-pack of Ninja Turtles.
So, to be honest, I'm taking it all in. I don't even want to talk that much because I'm like taking in all this information because I'm just pumped up for it. I think there's so many opportunities, but the key is to go for something, right? Don't just sit back and listen. Go try it out, right? Go out to your Walmart, go out to your Target, and get your feet wet. And there was someone in the comments talking about the because I want to get some clarification on this. Isn't it correct that if you want to sell toys that you have to get approved? Is that just for being a merchant, or is that, or can you get approved for? So there's like a misconception going around that you have to sell a certain amount of toys to be able to sell toys FBA. Is that true or is that false?
It's a common misconception because nobody reads the entire email. If they read the email, then they'll realize that it's not that.
So
that
tell
they're
everybody.
Trying to keep. They're trying to.
You know, you hit a point where you're not going to be able to get your inventory into FBA in time for it to be shipped out for Christmas, and so you have this gap, which for us, ours takes longer. We're South Florida, so it just takes longer for us to get anywhere, and you have that. There's a span of maybe 5 or 6 days where I could ship it direct to the customer before I could ever get it into Amazon and Amazon get it to them. And so if you want to have the availability to merchant fulfill toys in that time frame, it goes through. Like that's that time where it is an advantage and you have to meet certain qualifications. But we did some merchant fulfilling last year, but I think up until the end it actually cost us more time because it was like I was spending too much time packaging stuff to ship out. And but in that last week or so, when you can get stuff to a customer that you can never get to Amazon in time.
Right. One of the things I think is an interesting merchant fulfilled thing. I tried it last year, but it didn't sell it didn't do like as I planned. But I know this is how it works. But basically, if you see something that, let's say, has a buy cost of like I don't know, $50 or $100, and you know it's like FBA price is $200 or so. Sometimes people MF merchant fulfill it right there off their phone in the store, like while they know that there's 4 in the freaking they know there's 4 on the shelf, right? So they put around the store.
So you have
for
the sale by the cash register.
Yeah. You can put around for 30 minutes in the store, and if you get a cha-ching, I mean, what I know is ching, but if you get the sale on the phone off the Amazon merchant fulfilled, you can go ahead and pick it up from the store, assume no risk, and just send it right off that very same day. Yes, that happens. It's been done. Many people do it. It can even be done in pawn shops, by the way, Raykin, just so you know. I've done it before.
Awesome. Great tip.
But I usually do it with bikes and stuff. But anyway, I'll list a bike that's at a pawn shop, and someone's like, oh, let's see the bike. Go freaking buy the bike from the pawn shop. Anyway. That's for another thing. Okay, so where were we real quick? Let's talk about some of the changes from last Q4 versus the prediction of this Q4. Okay, so tons of new YouTube videos are out there, right? Tons of new groups on Facebook are forming. FBA now, or should I say the Amazon Prime thing is just crazy. They're running specials all the time here and there. And instead of paying $99, you can pay $69 or $66 or something like that. I mean, they're really pushing Prime really hard. So this year, probably going to see, my guess, an increase of like 20 to 40% of people using Prime in general. Like I would say that's a fair estimate. I wouldn't say 50. That's pretty high, but 20 to 40% as opposed to last year. Now, what that means is there are going to be a lot more people buying things off Amazon. Now, concurrent to that is also the fact that there are going to be a lot more people in the doing FBA, right? A lot more people knowing that they can do it part-time, right, Craig?
Yeah.
Do it part-time and still score really big. So there's obviously an edge if you're a full-time hustler, okay? That's very clear. But even if you're doing this part-time, you got a job and you're like, well, how can I make an extra $3 to $5 grand in a 2-month span? I mean, this is an easy way to do it. I ain't gonna lie. I mean, it's fair to say that you can do it. It's very easy.
Fair to say it's like 3 to 25 grand.
Well, it's for a beginner, it'd be 3 to 5, right? I cranked out 3 something last year, just doing 16 days worth, 15 days worth. So anyway, whatever that means.
Wow.
So this year, I'll be doing it a whole lot more. But there are going to be a lot more people in the marketplace, like messing with FBA, buying off Amazon Prime. So, Craig, let's start talking about that a little bit. That's going to be a clear difference between last year and this year, correct?
Yes, I believe so. I mean, we're preparing that there's going to be more competition from the seller side.
Okay, so some person named All L said 17 million new Prime members last year during fourth quarter. Wow, that's crazy. So, okay. Anyway, so let's talk about you predict that's going to happen. Eric, what's your prediction on I'm really sidetracked with this feed thing, sorry. But Eric, what's your prediction this year versus last? Do you think there's going to be a whole lot more competition? Let's say you're putting down aisles at Best Buy or Walmart. Do you think you're going to be seeing more people with like their phones open or maybe a scanner tool or anything like that?
I see it already. I already do. The easier it becomes to be a reseller, I mean, the more information, the more exposure that it gets, I think more people can just pick up their phone and do it once they learn some of the basic processes.
Yeah.
So, absolutely, yeah.
So that leads me to one other thing. This is going to be my clever way of touting the green room, right? Exclusivity is one of the very amazing things about having a private room, right? And I'm not going to tell you that ours is the best because ours has its flaws like every other room. But exclusivity is very important. If you can have a small group of people share some ideas and you can all profit together, I think it's a wonderful thing. So whether you join my group, Breakin's group, CP's group, which is the green room, and you'll find a link down below when it becomes an actual video, or you join other groups out there like maybe Scanner Monkey, Scan Power, something like that. I think Global Voodoo has a group too. Doesn't matter what group you join, it's the principle of joining a group maybe for a short period of time that might benefit you. I wouldn't say might. If you like to soak up information and you know how to act on information, then having exclusivity is very important. If you're seeing information out there that is just readily tossed out there all day long and you're like, oh, okay, I know to buy this, and I know because everyone keeps talking about that, that means a lot of people are probably messing with that product, right? Craig, you could honestly say that there might be 30 to 50 sellers of a Lego Advent calendar. I mean, because it's like tossed everywhere you go. It's in the Lego forums. It's in every freaking Lego group. I mean, we're looking for exclusivity is what really makes FBA fourth quarter a lot of fun, isn't it? When you find things that are very high profit potential, low rank, and you can share it among a small group of people. Am I fair to say that?
Yeah, you know, you want to find the balance between having a group of people that have the knowledge that will work for you. So, like, if it's only 2 people, you're going to miss out on a lot of stuff. But if it's 2,000 people, then anything that someone shares, then it's just going to flood the market. So it's trying to find that balance of having enough information, but not the most public information that everyone has.
Right. And so like I said, I'm not going to tout the horn or toot the horn of the green room. Our Facebook group is, I like to think it's pretty good. It's made me a lot of money last year. I made my first fourth quarter play last week or a week and a half ago. I shared it with the green room. Anyway, it was from a very big store. It wasn't one of the 5, by the way. But I did put a post. I showed my shopping cart. It was full of this one item, and it was my.
How much did you spend?
$972. Hey, man, when I play, I ain't playing to screw around, man. I'm playing to win. So.
And hold on, we don't have to say the item, but what are you hoping to turn that $972 into if your play plays out the way you hope?
Okay,
double up at least.
Okay. I don't want to give away this because if I say enough about it, you guys, the smart people will figure out what it is I'm hustling. But I think it's fair to say that on each one, if I took right now, if I got out now, like if I tried hard and got out now, I think through FBA I could probably make a solid 30 or 40 on each one. A solid 30 or 40. That's if I do it now.
On each one?
On each one. I bought 10 of this one thing. And that's just, I even researched it today, and I was like, okay, I'm pretty sure I could still make that now. I think, not 100%, but I could. But it's not a now kind of play. It's one of those holds, and Craig Morris and I have talked in the green room, and I've seen him bring my post up again, saying I really think this could be a big deal. It was a variation of my post, but it was still a part of my post. And he said, I think could be a buy and hold kind of thing, and that's what I'm doing. I'm holding this thing. I'm playing this one till December 15th or December 20th. I'm treating it like a stock. I really am. I'm treating it like an actual company stock.
And what do you think you can make instead of 30 or 40 now? What are you hoping that plays out
I think
to?
Ben, I'll be able to make 60. I think Craig Morris and I and whoever talked about it on that thing, it's fair to say that if you do it right, you can make 60. 60 pure once all the FBA fees are scraped out. This is a very low. It's a pretty low rank item, but I can only imagine it's going to get even lower, and it's going to get harder to find. So, Craig, am I right about that? I was like, I'm going to prove this all with Craig, man, because Craig seriously has his entire business with FBA. So
I mean, that's the hard part is you don't know if you're right. But the problem is if you are right and you don't invest, you miss out. And I think that's a big step for some people to take, to say, if you've never done stock trading, like, yeah, it's likely that it's going up, but you can research it all you want, and there's still a chance it's not going to pan out.
That's right.
I mean, it's not going to go to zero. It's going to have some, so you're not going to lose everything if it doesn't go right. But you still have to take the risk. And I think a lot of times, even last year, it was like, oh man, I saw 20 of these a week ago, and I didn't buy any of them, and now they're gone. And get something, get some skin in the game. Even if you're too scared to drop 970, 920 on something, buy one or two, and then if you're right, you've at least learned, and if you're wrong, you've learned. And I think if you look at each fourth quarter as learning for the next fourth quarter, that's kind of the way to play it. And you might have to pay for your lessons a little bit. I mean, we didn't gain money on everything we bought last year. I mean, I would say 20% of the stuff we did, we were just breaking even on. I'm still holding a few things that I held some stuff for a year because I think it's going to be worth it. It just didn't pan out last year.
Right. The items that we are talking about are items I did hustle last year, by the way. And they're just getting more and more powerful this year. I think they're really coming out with a huge push. So, the scarcity of it last year. I think CP knows the item I'm talking about. I'm pretty sure you know it.
Yeah, I know what item you're talking about.
Okay, so the scarcity of this thing was like so tough to where if you found it, it was like gold. It really was last year. It was like gold. It was equally as rare as the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle 5-pack or the party wagon thing or all that.
Dude,
stuff.
I got him right here. Guess what they're up to right now?
I don't want to know because I remember my last one selling out at around 99.
It's at $159 right now.
Are you serious, dude?
Yes. It still has a good rank. It has amazing reviews, and there's 4 sellers.
Oh my god.
I have one at home. I kept one.
I know where to find it. I'm gonna go look for more. Anyway,
they don't make it anymore. That's why it spiked so much.
Okay, never mind. I guess I won't find it. So that's crazy, man.
You're not gonna find it. I have one in my closet, I think, 1 or 2 that I kept.
Unbelievable, man. I remember hustling those things. There was one day where I found like 8 of them. I remember I found 8.
I had a stack of like 25 of them.
And what were you guys buying them for?
30 was it or 40?
I want to say it was 30. If you couponed correctly,
Right.
you could get it closer to 25 or 23, something like that.
Can I ask you guys, do you guys go to those websites like raise.com to like buy the gift cards and stuff?
I didn't do that. If I would have done that, I would have increased my my margins by another 4, 5, 6% probably.
Yeah, there was one week in Target Raking where it was buy one, get a half off the next one Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. So if you found those things at 30, you would get another one at 15, and effectively your buy-in price was $22.50 a piece, and then they were selling for like $100, and the rank was so low.
No,
Wow.
even on top of that, if you had shopped a couple days before, spend over $50,
there was another coupon.
you got a 25% off your entire cart.
Right.
It was just nuts.
Yeah, you were filling up carts like a madman, CP.
It was nuts.
How do you bring 2 carts up to a register? Like, what's the strategy for that? Like, I know Craig Morris, man. He's probably got like some systems, man. Like, you got some virtual assistants following you along. I don't know how you do it.
Sometimes there was one time I remember last year at Target I had 5 carts parked up at customer service before I finally checked out.
Freak show.
That's crazy, man. I think the most I've ever I never filled it 2, but I've had 1 all the way up to the top. That was a lot of fun. Let's get to the next thing real quick. Well, the next thing before we get to the next thing, Raken, you're learning a lot, right?
Man, my head's about to. I don't even know why I'm at this show. I should be heading up Target before it closes.
I'm pretty sure there are other people like Raken who are getting a pretty good amount of information for from this show. So, Raken, what do the people need to do for us if they want to see more shows like this?
Yeah, I mean, we're not trying to like act like we're Bally's or LA Fitness, but it's time to get your workout on and take that finger of yours and hit the like button, right? Put it on the mouse, hit the like button, show some love. I mean, how many likes do we got right now,
Wow.
CP? How many likes we got?
Let me scroll up. This is invigorating. My fingers are getting a workout from scrolling. There's 29 thumbs up and 3 thumbs down.
See, I'm not a mathematician or anything, or CPA or anything like that, but if we have 81 people watching and only 29 likes, can you do the math on that, Bonafide?
Yeah, I would say there's a lot of people that are not having skinny finger syndrome, and it's really in right now. You guys want the skinny finger is so awesome, dude. You guys want to have it. It's like having a beach bod except skinny finger syndrome. So click the like button repeatedly. Blam, blam, blam. This is not like Periscope where you go like this and the hearts fly up off the screen. This is one hit, and hopefully you can get skinny finger syndrome. Anyway, okay. So, all right, Craig, you ready for rapid fire? Because we have some green roomers, okay? People within the green room that have asked questions for the past maybe 8 hours or so, because I put the post up this morning and people were like lining up the questions. So, you ready, man, for some rapid fire from your own members that look up to you, man? Here we go. Okay. All right, there's some remarks here. Super excited about this. I feel like I'm 10 times as ready as I was last year, but I'm looking to be 100 times more ready than I am now. Cool, okay. So let's go Paul Wang first. Okay, so member in the green room, Paul Wang, says, what's your strategy for Star Wars 7 toys? How do you know how deep to go?
So it was a great question. Your strategy is going to depend a lot on what you're allowed to sell. I'm approved. I got for Star Wars 7, went through the process, and it worked pretty easy for me, but I know a lot of people have had a tough time getting approved. If you're not, doesn't mean you don't sell it. You just have to look for other ways to sell it. And there's, it sells, and it even seems like maybe eBay's starting to have a bit of a resurgence when it comes to like some of this retail stuff that people feel like they get a little better discount there, and it's kind of the Walmart. If FBA is the Target, eBay is the Walmart, and so there are ways to sell it. How deep you go is highly dependent on just your risk tolerance. We've got a fair amount tied up in it, but we're also trying to flip whatever's profitable right now in it already. So we've got stuff. I'm probably selling 10 to 20 Star Wars items a day right now, because that's what we want to do. But I'm also holding certain things that I think are going to be scarce later on. And with my profits of what we're selling now, that I'm reinvesting in stuff that I'm holding for later on. So that's kind of how I'm building my portfolio. So even if worst case I just have to sell it, break even, then I'm good because I'm still making money on it.
That's the first time I've ever heard somebody call it a portfolio. I love it.
It's pretty funny. That's a pretty good thing. I've heard that term many times. Not for FBA, but for other stuff.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I've never heard it used in this sense, and I love it.
Okay, so the next question, and that was for Paul Wing right there. Let's look at Vin Mangone. Question: building inventory. Okay, so building inventory. Do you go for maximum SKUs and items, like a wide approach, or how deep do you go on an unknown? Okay, so let's talk about this first question here. Do you go for maximum SKUs and items, a very wide, like casting your net out very wide during fourth quarter? Yes or no?
At the beginning, yes. At the beginning, we want to be as wide as possible because I want to be following every area, whether I've personally invested in it by buying something in it or I'm just checking it, keeping updating on it. When you get closer to Black Friday and beyond, then you want to narrow your focus. You don't want to spend time December 1st scanning 100 items in a store. You just want to go into the store and know the 25 items that you're looking for. So we go wide, and then we just start bringing in the net a little bit closer each day.
Okay, cool. And this is a great question for the feed, by the way, and I see a ton of people commenting. So first of all, thank you for being here on this hangout. It really means a lot to us. And second of all, what's your approach to the fourth quarter? Are you going to go wide like Craig Morrison? You're going to whittle it down to like the 5, 10, 15, 20, maybe 25 things that you should be looking for in any big box store, or what is your strategy? I want to know, is it a wide or is it very concentrated? Now, if you were to ask me that question, I'm going to go concentrated because, the power of an exclusive group is great. And once everyone just starts sharing, right, as long as you're not a hog, right, if you're sharing while you're taking, it's all good, and everyone collectively comes out on top. It's the people that, fortunately, we don't have that problem in our room. We're really good about it, trust me. But the way I can say this is that I was walking out of an HEB with a ton of these amazing finds. I remember this last year, and I was going to put a post into the green room that morning. It was 8:30 in the morning because I'd done some research the previous night on what I saw at that HEB. I was like, dude, there are a lot of things in this HEB. I should probably buy all of them. But then I went home and I was like, maybe do my research. Hold on, because I was going to sink $400 into it. And then I did my research. I came back to that HEB the second it opened, right? And then I'm walking out with carts, one cart all the way full of this one thing, and I was going to make a green room post about it, and someone beat me to it. I want to say it was Max Fra or somebody, but someone beat me to it. They're like, look at these things in your HUP, it's really cool, and they beat me that morning to making the post, but I was about to. So it just shows you that caring and sharing and making sure that, take what you want, but also put forth a good bolo or whatever if you're seeing some of these big box stores for Q4. That's how we like to do in the green room. But anyway, let's talk about where was I with I don't even know what point I was trying to make, but I was going somewhere, and then this feed just keeps going like crazy. Let me just make sure let me see if I can figure out what everyone was trying to. Oh yeah, I just wanted to see if everyone was going wide or if they're going concentrated. I want to go concentrated this year. Is there any difference? I mean, have you ever gone concentrated? Well, this is your second, right, Craig? So you don't know a concentrated approach right off the bat, right? You know a wide approach only, right?
Well, we just do wide at the beginning until we've narrowed down what it is. But that has a lot to do with the fact that this is what we do retail full time. If you're doing the thrifting game more so, then you might not have to do the wide approach, because by the time you're really settling in, like if you're starting mid-November or whatever, that's fine. But I'm still paying all my bills in October and November by flipping toys right now. And so that's why I'm looking for anything I can spend $15 on and turn it into 20. Because if I can do that, 100 times, then I'm pretty good with that. But when it comes to, once we know, if we've identified something, we're gonna buy as much of it as we can possibly find. So we do go really deep, but just still kind of in the researching stage right now, because you don't know what the hot toy is going to be now. But I want to try to have a leg up on everybody else, and so that way, if I do think I've identified it, I can clear it out in October before someone who's looking for it in November even gets there.
Yeah, I think it's fair to say that some of our members, like Glenn, I want to say Jameson, I know Eric, CP. Yeah, and I think even you, Morris, you guys are really going hard at certain things that you find at one of those 5 stores. I don't want to give out too much of this stuff, but you guys are going. They're exclusives and everything. Let's put it like that. They're exclusives, and everyone's just pouncing on these. And before this call even went live, Eric was like, "Yeah, I just cleared out an X for all these things," and I'm like, "Dude, really? You believe this early?" He's like, "Absolutely."
$150 or 170, I forget what it was for all these.
There was even a post in the green room saying that even in the worst ones are going to deliver about 5 to 10 projected lowest profit potential, 5 to 10 when it comes down to Christmas time. So anyway, Eric was clearing out someplace right before this call was going on. He was sitting there clearing them out. So okay, let's go to the next question real quick. I'm getting really sidetracked. I'm sorry. We'll go to the second one of Vin, and we'll go to someone else's real quick. Okay, 2 questions from Vin real quick. How deep do you go on an unknown item, Craig?
If there's kind of 2 ways. I like to kind of buy one. If it's something completely unknown, especially if there's no sales rank, but you just have a good feeling about it, I like to buy one and I set it at my price and I just forget about it. And then when I check through my sales each day, whenever that hits, whenever it sells at the price, then I stop right then and there and I say, okay, I got what I wanted to get for this one. Am I going to be able to get it if I get 20 of them? Where's the rank? Because at that point, it should have a rank because you sold it. But you can also, if you want to be a little more, just start tracking in the spreadsheet. Just write it down, check on it a couple times a week, and just say, okay, where is it now? Where is it now? And then you can do that. There's no need to go super deep into an unknown, because in a month and a half, there's going to be hundreds of knowns. There's going to be hundreds of guarantees, and so don't invest too much money in an unknown that might not pan out. That's probably still going to be available anyway. And that's one of the things I learned. Last year I bought like 5 or 6 of unknowns, and I was stuck with some stuff. This year it's buy one or buy none, and then when it sells, and do more research.
Okay. We have Brock Parks with some questions, a lot of questions. So you might have to get back to him on all these. Looks like there's a bunch. Okay, so let's just talk about these 2 real quick that I can see. Could you touch on a daily schedule? Go ahead with
that. Yeah, it's our daily schedule's kind of crazy. We're still figuring it out. We're due with our second child in about 3 or 4 weeks. We're moving in about 5 or 6 weeks, possibly, in the midst of fourth quarter of all of this. But I would say for the short period of time, like you, Bonafide, we just run for as much as we possibly can for those 2 or 3 weeks where it's just great, because there's no time of the year where it's that easy.
Yeah.
So our schedule for those 2 or 3 weeks is unlike any other time of the year. But right now, I've been doing a lot of nighttime sourcing. After the family's asleep, that sort of thing, and then that gives a little more freedom to take chunks of time on weekends. Try to take Sundays pretty easy. And try to take Friday afternoons pretty easy once the last shipment's out for the week. But we're in such transition right now, and I'll expand a bit more on the green room too. But we're in such transition right now. We don't have any consistency. But I would just say it's nonstop. It's basically how much sleep do I need to be effective, and how little time can I spend packaging stuff up to get it out to Amazon, because otherwise I'm out there sourcing. Because if you're not sourcing, you're losing money. And then it allows us to take more of a 30 to 40 hour a week schedule the rest of the year.
Okay. Raykin, let's talk about it on the perception of, like, you're not doing fourth quarter Amazon. Maybe you feel like too intimidating, blah blah blah, and then you see all this uproar through YouTube and these private groups about, like, oh my God, like these exclusive toys, and you're like, oh, everyone's going here. Where did you find that? I found them here. Like, and if you ask the person, they'll tell you where else in the city you can get, the quantities of whatever you're looking for. Now, you sat on the sidelines last year. Let me ask you this: within the green room, did you see a fair amount of uprising? This is not World War Z here. Did you see a fair amount of uproar when it came to fourth quarter in the green room?
Absolutely. I almost felt like I should have prepared more, because you see all these things that come across your screen and you're just like, wow, like, that's why, like, people always say, like, prepare ahead of time, like, learn how to ship in your first shipment, learn how to prep, learn how to label, get all your tools in line, because if you're sitting on the sidelines, you've never sent out a shipment, you're going to be too overwhelmed to do it. And if you try to do it, I feel like you're going to just screw things up. So, I mean, yeah, there was a ton of things coming across the screen, but sometimes you got to just know when to stay out of it, or just jump in and do everything you can to learn. You can learn now. It's just going to be a pretty crazy learning curve, in my opinion.
Yeah, you can definitely learn right now. Here's Eli Caraballo's question. What are these 2 weeks that Craig is referring to? 2 weeks before Christmas? I would honestly say it's really the 2 weeks, like, up until about the 15th, or right around there. Am I right about that, Craig?
Yeah.
Right that's the stop of it, right?
Yeah, Black Friday to mid-December. That's your, if you're gonna only give it 2 or 3 weeks, whatever that turns out to be, that's the time that you want to go full force. I mean, we're gonna go full force for more than that, but even if you're only doing this just for fourth quarter and just hopping on, that's the 2 weeks. Kind of kicks off Black Friday, and until you can get your last shipment in by the 22nd.
That's the chance. That's the part of the broadcast where a old Chevy Nova decides to floor it right behind CP.
It's like the busiest highway in this city behind me.
So they have the fastest internet next to the busiest highway. So it's like, that doesn't make any sense unless you're going to download music. Like, it doesn't make any sense. You can't do anything live. Anyway,
well, I'm outside. Everyone else is inside. I don't want to ruin their night.
No, it's all good, man. Okay, so yeah, those 2 weeks or 3 weeks, I experienced those 2 weeks, and I gotta say, if you get with the right kind of people that are sharing and giving, you know exactly what to look for. I mean, you're honed in so dead on. Like, when I'm going into a store, I'm looking like, I was going in like 5 different places in the store, and I was looking for about 20 to 30 different things, honestly. And that's where I knew things were happening, but I got scared. I got scared. I did everything right. I executed up until about the 15th. I shipped every single day. Don't get me wrong. I shipped every single freaking day from 2 to 4 o'clock. That was my ship time. And I got all my stuff out because the store, if I brought my boxes before, I want to say it was 5, it would be on the next truck out the next morning at like 7 or 11 in the morning, something like that. So I found all that part out. But, I got scared. And I sank what I thought was a fair amount of money into it. Now, there's a question in the feed, and this is an interesting question because I think there is no real answer to this, right? Whether you're risk averse or prone to a whole lot of risk, or you don't like risk at all, what's the safest number to throw into the Q4 game in FBA? There's no freaking answer for that, right? CP, how would you answer that to somebody that's like curious about FBA?
I have two really good tips. One, get a credit card with a really high amount, and 2, have the cash to back it up if your investment goes sour.
Okay, that's pretty good. I like that one. Morris.
The principle that we go by is try to have every dollar working all the time during fourth quarter.
Okay, that's a great principle. I like that. I really like that.
And what that is, allotted amount, whether you're going the credit card way, whether you're going the cash way, try to have everything working for you, because money on the sideline is dead money in fourth quarter.
Right. I played around with 6K last year. That's what I threw at it. In the 2 weeks that I was messing with it, I threw 6K into it. So it's not much. I mean, this year I'm gonna be throwing like 15 to 20, maybe even 30. I don't know. But Rakin, what do you think on your strategy now? Now you're starting to hear all this come together. Like, what are you starting to think? Like, what would you be safe with, knowing that there's some stellar returns on some of these things if you hone in pretty much on the right stuff?
Yeah, I mean, there's no right answer. It's going to be different for everybody, and your tolerance to risk and how much money you have saved. I would say don't put any money out there that you need to pay your bills and like you're just not sure of, because if you're new, it's not your business. There's a good chance you're going to have some errors and some issues. What I would advise, like, there's a lot of items you can pick up for $1 or $2. Like there's a lot of toys and random things that you can pick up cheap. So I would just honestly try not to like. I would curb your risk by trying to invest in items that are a little cheaper. That's what I would say. But there's a lot of opportunities out there. It's just up to you.
There was a toy last year that sold for $69 or $67 during the year. It went up to $350 during December.
Wow.
That's crazy.
And it was for $1, right?
No, 67.
Because you're laughing while I'm saying it. I'm like, what is this guy laughing at, man?
Well, I'm laughing because it's like I don't think you can get those kind of profit margins on like $1 or $2 item.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. Oh, I never said that. If you pick up an item for $1 or $2, it's probably going to go somewhere between the $8 to $15 range, if I was to guess.
Yeah, but there's going to be plenty of opportunities where you can spend $10 and you can sell it for $35. Sell it for the 10 to 15, sell it for $35. And if you're making $10 to $15 every time you sell that item, and you can do 100 of those items, it's an extra $1,000 in your pocket. And that's a fairly low risk, and a way to really dig in and get your feet wet with it.
That's what College Picker was doing last year. Part of his strategy was filling up these carts with like these $10 or $14.99 items that were selling for $27 all the way up to like $40 with a very low rank. I'm talking check-in date like gone.
Oh yeah, they're still good. I was looking at them today. They're still good. It's just I'm waiting.
It's funny. CP is still looking at all these last year. Oh, CP, that's funny. Okay, so we're gonna end this show with I saw some questions like, how do you join the green room? Okay, so just look at this video once a week, or any of the green room hangouts on my channel. The link to the green room will be down below. It's $100 a year. Do what you want with that. There are a lot of other paid groups out there. I'm not gonna say mine's the best, but we like to keep a good running ship that has a bunch of people that share things, and they take where they want and they share where they can, and that's very important. So, and yes, I've seen some other things saying there's definitely better odds than a casino with FBA, that's for sure. Okay, so we're going to end the show with 3 tips coming from us 3, and then Rakin will just give Well, Raken hasn't done an FBA Q4, so you just go listen to our 3 tips.
Trying to get me to improvise on the spot.
Yeah, no, you're not going to be making enough stuff, so don't worry. Okay, so I'll start, and then it'll be CP, and then Morris. Actually, you know what? We'll let Morris go first. What are your 3 tips? And just keep in mind that there are beginners, intermediates, and experts in the feed right now. So if you could just give maybe these bird's eye 3 tips to get people started into FBA or whatever. Just remember that those kind of people are in the feed. It's not all the people like you or like our average member in the green room. We got some people that are complete beginners in the feed that want to know more about this thing. What are the 3 main tips that you carried from last year and you're going to suggest this year? Morris.
Well, I started retail arbitrage just about this time last year, maybe a little bit earlier, maybe September, but I really started in October, and there's so much stuff out there right now, like I said, that you can just buy for 10, sell for 20 on FBA, and make $5. And so I guess tip number 1 is find a couple of those things and get familiar with it, get comfortable with it. And it can be hard. If you're used to 200, 300% ROI from garage sale finds, it can be hard to accept a 50% ROI. But that's okay in fourth quarter because there's so much stuff you can overcome that. So that would be the first tip I would say. The second tip I would say is kind of echoing what you said is this idea of just get connected with some other people. Don't go through it alone. I did a lot of it alone up until like mid-November last year until the green room really started popping, and I could have saved myself a lot of time. And just be connected to more people and work with that. And then the last thing is stretch yourself, but don't kill yourself. We don't know how many people are going to be selling on FBA. Don't put yourself into a position that's going to potentially hurt yourself. So stretch yourself, get out of your comfort zone, but don't do something that's going to end up hurting your business, hurting your family, that sort of thing.
Cool. Great suggestions. And if you have suggestions in the feed, by the way, or if you like that suggestion that Morris gave, go ahead and tell us. We're going to run this show for about 3 more minutes. CP, what about your 3 actual tips that you want to give to the people out there in the feeds and YouTube land?
I have 3% battery life left on my computer, so this couldn't have been more perfect. So in case I cut out, number 1, I think this is a game changer. Walmart now has free Wi-Fi. So a lot of the times, Walmart, you lose phone signal. Now you can connect to their Wi-Fi, and you can scan your brain out. So I think that's a huge game changer right now. And I think a lot of Targets offer Wi-Fi too. So if you don't even have a data plan, you could take an iPod Touch, install some Amazon apps on there, go in there, get some Wi-Fi, and do some damage. All right, that's number 1. Number 2, I would say call your credit card company beforehand so you don't get denied with like 2 carts full of Ninja Turtles at Target. So let them know you're going to be making these humongous purchases. Number 3, bring deodorant.
All right. Well, you heard it there. The third one is so important, CP.
You're going to be sweating running through these stores looking for toys. I'm telling you, lifting all these boxes, loading them in your car. You're going to be sweating. Bring some deodorant. Okay.
So here are my 3. First one, do some research. Now, if you're part of an exclusive group, a lot of the research can be done for you. We're not going to argue that fact. But do some research. One of the reasons my very first post about Q4 last year in the green room occurred because I'd spent 4 to 5 hours deciphering some of the most popular toys and games on Amazon. Like, I actually got on Amazon for 4 to 5 hours, and I was deciphering things and cross-referencing it with eBay, and then I put out like a list of 20 things that I wanted to start looking for. Then I figured out some things, and then I got to the green room, and people were telling me more things about it. Anyway, so do some research, okay? Do some research, camel, whatever you need to do, but get a fair amount of research done or join an exclusive group, okay? Second thing is ship every single freaking day, okay? Especially this year, I'm going to be shipping every single day for me. This year is going to start on Black Friday. I know on Black Friday I'm going to be shipping every single day until the 15th. That's just for sure, 100%. I might be shipping every other day before then. Right now I'm doing 1 ship in a week, but every single day, and you'll see why. You will see why if you have the things that you're supposed to be looking for, and if you have time and you're carving out time and you're doing things correctly, you will see why you need to ship out every single day. It'll be very obvious why. So ship every single day. I think that was one of my main reasons why I was able to get that for me in that short time period of 15 days or whatever. I got a pretty large sum of money for me just barely screwing with it. Okay, so it was because of things like that. Last thing, no coupons. Okay, no coupons. Try to know, and that's another thing with exclusive groups. Okay, you're going to know about these secret coupons that are flying all over the place and this and that. Know your coupons with big box stores. When you see a buy one get one free or buy one get half off the next or the similar item, freaking drop everything and start destroying those stores. Go after them and kill them. Go after and buy everything you can, because when you get those, any way that you can get your buy cost in way lower, you know, you never know when Amazon's going to come in and destroy the market, right? Is that fair to say, Morris, right?
Yep.
You never know. They're a very big, powerful company, and you never know when it's going to happen. If you're messing with the right things, it shouldn't happen, but like maybe 10% of the time of the things that you're messing with. But it will happen here and there. It happened last year with like a couple things that we were all messing with in the green room, but it was gone within like a day or two. But anyway, so know your buy one get one half off things. You know, take a look at the spreads on the internet of Target, Walmart, and when you see these things saying buy one get 40% off the next thing or half off the next thing, pay attention, especially if it's in the category of whatever you know you're supposed to be looking for. Very important. Lastly, with these big box stores, the discount cards and all that kind of stuff, like Target Red Card, right? Target Red Card's 5% off or something like that. Every store's got some different thing. It might be a boost in the return policy timeframes. It might be, you know, a certain percentage off. It could be points or something later. It's all differing with these big box stores. So be part of. I mean, Best Buy has rewards and all that. So just be in touch for those cards and try to get into their cards. So that's my 3. You know, and the best thing about these shows, guys, out there in YouTube land is if you're watching and you're like, man, that's just a lot of stuff to take in 1 hour, you can watch this show again. It's really easy to do. You just hit play on YouTube. It'll become an actual show. We're not going to guard this one off and put it somewhere else. So it's going to be there for you guys to check out. Reagan's nodding his head, so he's probably got head overload right now, brain overload. And like Raykin said, if you're enjoying these hangouts, we're trying to do a pretty good job out here with these green room hangouts, and this is season 2. We're only trying to do a better job every single show. If you're liking these shows, just hit the thumbs up button. If you hate these shows, hit the dislike button. We just want to see if we're getting loved or not loved. It's really important. But either way, don't forget what we told you on this show, Morris. For anyone out there that's asking the one question, should I get into FBA this year? And they're like, I want to try it out. What would you say to that person right now? They're in the feed.
Yeah, I would say try it out, but try it out soon. Get comfortable with it. If you're thinking seriously about fourth quarter this year, try it out, but get going on it now.
Yeah. Okay. So, and how much of your business is in FBA right now? Like, of your overall money that rolls into your household and all that stuff, what is it? Like 90, 100?
90% right now. Yeah. We're a little more balanced the rest of the year, but I would say 90.
Okay, cool. Okay, Raykin, how you doing? You doing all right?
I'm doing awesome, man.
Okay, so we're likely going to have another one of these shows, and we'll probably put it inside the green room because we really want to have a live show going on with the members and everything. So that's going to be sometime in the peak of the rush.
Awesome.
So join the room if you want to. If not, there are tons of other exclusive groups that you can join: Scam Power, Scam Monkey, Scanner Monkey, Global Voodoo's Pick for Profit. Go check all that stuff out. Join whichever one you want to, but just really know the power of exclusivity. Like Craig Morris said, don't go about it alone. You can get things done, but more than likely, I think, in my personal opinion, you're going to be picking up crumbs. You don't want to be picking up crumbs, whether it's in the stock market or in this game, the FBA game. Crumbs, that's not good. Crumbs, you can get destroyed, right? You want to get in on the plays as early as possible, and you want to. If some people find out about something really good, you want that to be shared upon a very small group of people, like Craig said. So if you share it among a group with like 15,000 members, it's fair to say that I think that market A will be diluted, and B, there'll be a gigantic race to the bottom. So you don't want to be messing with that kind of stuff. But exclusivity is everything, and it's the same thing with stocks and all that stuff. The closer you can get to the actual inception of whatever the thing is, the more money you will make. So you don't want to be getting crumbs. Don't get crumbs. All right. So we're out of here, and thanks, CP, for being on this call, and thank you so much, Craig Morris, for being here. If you want to find out more about Craig Morris, you don't have to be in the green room to figure this part out. You can just contact you where at Morris Better what?
Facebook.com/Morris Better Reseller.
Morris Better Reseller. And of course, if you're in the green room, you see Craig every day, so you know what to do. And then Raken, I'll leave it to you to close this sucker out.
Absolutely. So thanks everybody for watching Green Room Season 2, Episode 12, right? Episode 12 or 13?
This is the 12th.
12th one. So thanks everybody. I know there's so many other things you could be doing right now.
Hold on. I saw the best comment ever. Just roll in.
Oh my gosh.
Can I read it?
Do it
This is
up.
from Enzo the Picker. Don't pick up nickels in front of a steamroller.
So with that being said,
That's
so with
freaking
that being said, don't pick up nickels in front of a steamroller.
Wow.
We appreciate your time, guys. You have a great day. Take action. If you get anything out of the show, take action on the knowledge because that's key. You know, there's so much information out there, but it's not worth dwiddly whatever if you don't take action on it. So take action. Go make it happen. Thanks so much, Mr. Morris, Bonafide CP, and we'll see you guys on Season 2, Episode 13. Peace
Later,
on the
guys.
streets.
See ya.
Bye.